To begin the actual camper build, the first thing I wanted to do is put in windows and a door. This box truck obviously just has the roll-up door in the back, which is not going to fit our needs. So I decided to put some rough markings on the walls so that I have an idea of how everything's going to sit in here, and I'll go from there. Starting up front, in the corner right there is going to be a closet. Aside of that, you can see how I just roughly scribed out where the door will be on the side. Then we come over here, and that's where one of the windows will be. Underneath that will be a love seat sofa. Over to the right of that is where I'm going to have the stove. And then in the back corner here, I'm going to put my power bank, all my batteries and solar hookups and things like that. Up in Mom's attic, up in there, that's all going to be storage because I don't want to take up any floor space in here with storage. Then over here will be a shower, and I'm thinking about making it a wet bath, which would have the toilet inside the shower. Over here will be a big screen TV, and underneath that will be a large cabinet which will house my fresh water and water pump and water heater and things like that. And then back here in this corner will be another window. So to get started, first thing I'm going to do is install the windows. I purchased these windows on Amazon. The size of these windows are 20 high by 30 wide, and they're packaged very well. I checked them when they were delivered, and there was no damage to either one of them. The style that I got was an exit style window, and the reason is because I want to be able to open the windows when it rains, and the exit style windows will push out and be at an angle like this instead of the ones that slide sideways, because if it's raining those would leak and I would need to close them. So just taking a look here as I'm unpackaging this. Okay. It's all shrink wrapped, comes with the mounting hardware, the screws. Open this up. And I did purchase two, both are exactly the same, so I'll only show the process for the first one. These also come with a built-in screen. That is one less step. I believe these were somewhere around $110 a piece. I don't remember the exact price. I think it was like $109 and some change. But nice looking windows. Here's the inside mounting frame. And this part will come in from the outside, and that will be what it looks like outside. And as I said, these are exit windows, so these things will come like this, and then this pushes straight out and latches, so it can be open even if it's raining. I'm going to need a template so that I can scribe the walls, and I believe that's what this is. Well, it certainly feels like it. Feels like this is the exact size of the opening I'll need. So what I'll plan to do is measure out from the bottom equally on both sides. The problem is I can't really use a level or see if it's plumb, simply because you don't know if the vehicle is level or plumb. So I'm going to have to make exact measurements. The markings I have in the wall are just like, kind of just did it really fast. I didn't do an actual measurement on all those. So I'm going to need to measure out, and then I'll mount this and then cut the hole. I'm going to start the first window installation. And first thing I need to do is cut out this piece of board here, just so that I have room to work. So I'm going to go all the way back to where this screw is, and all the way back to where that screw is, pull this one out, and then I'll have a hole that I can actually measure inside and out, so I'll know exactly where I need to cut on the outside of the box. First, mask. I don't want this to cut into the wall, so I need to adjust the depth of the blade. Just making sure that it's deep enough to go through the board, but not going to hit the wall. Because I do not want to hit the wall with this, because all I'm doing is taking out that small board there. That looks about right. That broke that loose, and now I just got to take this screw out. And that's the beginning. Now I just need to pop out that plug that's on the outside of the truck. There we go. So from the center of this, I'll be able to measure up and down and left and right to get my actual exact measurements. Then I'll be able to go outside, put up my template, mark everything off, and cut the hole. All right, I'm just getting a rough fit to get my measurements. And I want the top to be from the center of that screw down 9.5 inches. 9.5 down. And then from the center of this one over will be 11.5. 11.5 over from that bolt. And that should give me exactly what I need. So I need to measure 9.5 inches down from the top. Get myself a little piece of tape ready.
That should give me my top and bottom. We'll see how it works.
So I have the template taped up on the outside. I'm gonna go get my saw, my reciprocating saw, and cut the hole out. I know that the wall is 3/4 of an inch thick. I'm just gonna check the depth of my blade. And I've got about 7/8, so that's perfect. Just enough to get through. is to have a lot of saw blades. That's the second one that went dull. 3 blades, 1 blade each side. Let's get this done. Last side, 4th blade. Blade number 5. This is awesome. I can already feel the air going through. Okay, ready to do my first test fit. That's beautiful. Okay, so what I did was I brought this thing out. I had butyl tape around the outside. Butyl tape is like a putty, kind of like plumber's putty, and comes in rolls. And you put that all around the inside of the frame. So I set the window in the hole. I put a screw in on the far left side. Then I measured from those screws that are on the top there. I measured down on this side. It was 8.5. I measured down on this side, made sure it was 8.5. Put my second screw in, put all 6 in, and from the outside it's done. Next screws will go in from the inside with a finishing plate. But from outside, that's it. So here is the inside trim. A trim kit. It just goes right over top of the window. Get that out of my way. Goes right over the top of the window like that, and then screws in right into the window itself. There's like this little channel that goes around here, and these screws will go right into that channel and pull it all together. What that's doing is, as I'm tightening those screws up, it's pulling that window in, so it's got a really nice tight seal on the outside. It's always best to check the clutch on this so that you don't like screw in too much and rip the screw right out. Looks like I got this set at about 10 pounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put the bottom screws in yet because I don't have enough board. As I take some of these other boards out, then I'll fill in to create the frame around the outside. Or I should say around the inside, in between the wall and this window. But right now, that's pretty much done.